my independent and compassionate Aquarius friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Aquarius, this week arrives with the subtle weight of things unsaid. Maybe you sense a tension stretching underneath even the most casual conversation. There's a hush inside, one that's almost physical, a pause before you answer, a slow exhale as you move from one room to the next. It isn't exactly loneliness, nor is it simply worry, but something in between, as if you stand at a crossroads within yourself, wondering which part of you will step forward. In the background, you might feel a need to protect your heart or to shield your ideas from being misunderstood. You may notice how even small misunderstandings echo louder than usual. All of this sits quietly beneath the surface, coloring the air with a need for space. You know you're not alone, but there's a sense that only you can truly navigate what's happening within you. This is a week where the world seems to ask for clarity, yet you feel more drawn to silence, to the safety of your own thoughts. That's not wrong. It's simply where you are right now. The 5 of Swords appears in your reading, and its presence is quiet but unmistakable. It's not a card that shouts, rather it reveals itself in the small ways you guard your energy. Perhaps you've noticed a recent urge to withdraw, to avoid confrontation, or to sidestep difficult conversations. It isn't necessarily about fighting or winning or losing, but about the subtle calculations you make to keep the peace, both with others and within yourself. There's a sense that you're holding back. Maybe you're biding your tongue, maybe you're letting someone else have the last word, or maybe you're simply choosing not to engage. This can bring its own sense of relief, but also a lingering sense of unfinished business. You might find yourself replaying certain moments late at night, wondering if you should have said more or less, if you could have expressed yourself more clearly. It's as if you're walking through a hallway of echoes, each one a memory of something you didn't say out loud. Emotionally, there's a tension between wanting to be understood and wanting to remain untouched by others' opinions. You may feel as though you're standing just outside the circle, observing more than participating. This isn't isolation for its own sake, but a way to preserve your sense of self in a week that feels unusually charged. Inside, there's a sharpness, a keen awareness of what's at stake if you reveal too much or push too hard. But there's also a gentleness, a recognition that every person, including you, is carrying something fragile. You're trying to navigate this week with care, but the effort leaves a trace of weariness. You may not even realize how much you're carrying until you finally let your shoulders drop. Underneath it all, there's a quiet longing for understanding, for someone to see beyond the careful words and the measured silences. The 5 of Swords doesn't ask for action, but it does highlight the cost of holding so much inside. You're aware of the tension, and it colors every interaction, every decision, every moment of stillness. The quiet vigilance you hold inside begins to shape the way the world meets you. When you approach your days with guarded energy, even the simplest exchanges can feel more complicated. The inner tension, left unspoken, starts to ripple outward. You notice how easily you can slip into habits of avoidance, turning away from invitations, hesitating before sending a message, or interpreting small setbacks as evidence that it's safer to keep to yourself. This is how the inner state gives rise to your path, by coloring your choices, by subtly shifting the momentum of your week, by making every step feel just a little heavier. The world reflects back what you bring, and as you guard your heart, life seems to offer fewer moments of warmth in return. The 5 of Pentacles lands gently in your path, revealing the pressures and frictions that arise when you feel set apart. There's a sense of moving through the week with a kind of quiet resignation, as if you're watching through a window rather than stepping into the room. External circumstances may seem cool or unyielding. Perhaps someone you hoped would reach out stays silent, or a situation you wish would resolve continues to linger. There might be a sense of scarcity, not just of resources, but of connection, of comfort, of certainty. The world seems a little less welcoming, and you might find yourself wondering if you're missing out or if you've somehow been left behind. This isn't a punishment, and it isn't permanent. Instead, it's a reflection of the inner posture you bring. When you close yourself off, even gently, the world responds with distance. The Five of Pentacles doesn't just describe hardship. It shows the subtle friction of moving through life when you feel unsupported. Maybe you sense that others aren't quite meeting you where you are. Maybe you notice that comfort is harder to come by, or that the routines you rely on feel less soothing. There's a friction between what you need and what seems available. It's not dramatic, but it's persistent. Each day brings small reminders that you're carrying more than usual, an unreturned call, a missed connection, or simply a feeling of being out of step with the people around you. Yet even in this, there's a quiet resilience. You keep moving, keep showing up, even if it feels like you're doing so on your own. There's a beauty in that persistence, though it may not feel like it in the moment. The sense of lack is real, but so is the quiet determination that underlies it. You're navigating a landscape that feels sparse, but you haven't stopped walking. The friction isn't just external, it's mirrored inside as you balance the desire for comfort with the reality of distance. This is a path shaped not by grand events, but by the daily effort to keep going, to keep reaching, even when the world doesn't reach back in the way you hope. The possibility of change emerges, but only if you choose to meet this moment with honesty. The pathway forward isn't automatic. It asks for your conscious attention, an inner willingness to notice the patterns, to feel the discomfort, and to wonder if there is another way. Nothing shifts on its own. It's your presence that creates the opening. When you become aware of the quiet resignation, of the distance you feel both inside and out, you also become aware of your own agency. Your potential is not hidden behind the week's pressures, but gently waiting for you to recognize it. Whatever you decide to bring to this moment, it will meet you there. The invitation is subtle but real. What could happen if you met yourself with the same care you extend to others? The King of Wands steps in as your potential, not as a promise of sudden transformation, but as an invitation to recognize the steady fire that's always been yours. The presence of this card is like a steadying hand on your shoulder, a reminder that clarity and self-trust are not out of reach, even in weeks that feel uncertain. The King of Wands isn't about force or dominance. It's about the quiet confidence that comes from knowing yourself, choosing your direction without apology, and allowing your vision to guide you even when the landscape feels unfamiliar. This is the week where you might glimpse your own resilience, not because things have become easier, but because you remember what it feels like to move from your center. The invitation is to let your creative spirit flicker again, not as a performance, but as a sincere response to what you feel. You may notice a small urge to speak up, to take a step, or to let your curiosity lead you somewhere new. The King of Wands doesn't rush. He listens, he observes, and then he acts from conviction rather than fear. Your potential this week is to rediscover that spark within yourself, the part that trusts its own voice, that believes in the worth of its own experience. It's not about changing the world all at once, but about noticing the moment when you stop shrinking and start inhabiting your own space with quiet certainty. Growth here is subtle. It's the moment you recognize that even in the midst of silence or uncertainty, you can choose to show up fully for yourself as you are. Looking across all three cards, a single thread ties your week together. The Five of Swords reveals the tension of holding back, the careful calculations of what to say and what to keep inside. The Five of Pentacles brings this inner posture into your day-to-day life, where the world feels a little less responsive, a little less warm. Yet, through these experiences, the King of Wands stands quietly at the edge of your awareness, a symbol of the creative, confident self that endures beneath even the heaviest silences. The struggle is real, but it is not the end of your story. Each moment of hesitation, each pause or withdrawal is not a failure but a sign of your deep desire for authenticity and connection. The week may feel long and the effort may feel invisible to others, but the resilience you're building is tangible. In the quiet, you remember your own worth. In the friction, you rediscover your own strength. And in the gentle return of self-trust, you realize that you have always been more than the sum of your struggles. There is no need to force resolution. Simply sitting with yourself honestly and kindly is enough. The week ends not with answers, but with a quieter heart, a sense of having met yourself where you are, and finding that, for now, it is enough. Actionable insights for Aquarius this week. Let yourself linger a little longer with your own feelings, noticing what comes up without rushing to fix it. Try reaching out to someone in a small, genuine way, even if it's just sharing how your day really went. Spend a moment today doing something that feels like your own, even if no one else sees it. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I notice what I feel and let it be real. I remain steady, even when things shift around me. My voice matters, even in silence. I trust the fire within me to guide my way. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.